The mysterious silence. It was an ordinary day in the galaxy, or so it seemed. The Galactic Council, a powerful group made up of representatives from various advanced alien civilizations, sat around their massive table, preparing for a crucial meeting. This meeting was supposed to be about the future of the galaxy, about cooperation, peace, and progress. But there was one problem. Earth was missing. The Galactic Council had always counted on Earth's representative, a strong-willed leader who had shown the humans impressive ability to navigate the complexities of intergalactic diplomacy. But today, for the first time in centuries, Earth's seat at the table was empty. No message, no sign of life. Just silence. Council members exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't just any normal absence. The Earth representative had always been reliable. The humans, though small in comparison to some of the more powerful species in the galaxy, were known for their resourcefulness, intelligence, and tenacity. For them to be absent without any explanation was unheard of. One of the senior council members, a tall, silver-skinned alien named Valok, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He had been a part of the council for longer than most of the others, and in all his years, he had never seen Earth so silent. "This is not right," he muttered, his voice heavy with concern. Another member, a reptilian alien named Salrak, leaned forward and hissed in frustration. "Earth must have received the summons. We've communicated with them before. Where are they?" Valok's deep-set eyes narrowed as he pondered the situation. Something about this felt off. It wasn't just a simple case of Earth being late. This was something deeper, something that could change everything. Meanwhile, on the outer reaches of the galaxy, on Earth itself, a different story was unfolding. Unbeknownst to the Galactic Council, Earth's leaders were facing an entirely different set of challenges. The silence from Earth was not a mistake. It was a decision made in the shadows. Deep in the heart of a hidden underground bunker, a group of top human officials gathered in a dimly lit room. The tension was thick. They had just received a strange and cryptic message, one that came through a secure, secret communication channel. The message was brief but chilling. "Stay silent. For now, the galaxy must believe you are gone." No one understood why the message was sent, or who sent it. But the decision was clear. Earth had to remain hidden, out of sight of the Galactic Council. A plan had been set into motion long before, a plan that no one had been prepared for, and now, the time had come to execute it. As the humans pondered the meaning of the message across the galaxy, the Council was growing increasingly restless. Without Earth's presence, the meeting felt incomplete. The discussions were disjointed, the usual rhythm interrupted. Council members began to look at each other with suspicion, each wondering if they were being played in some way. But Valok, ever the strategist, began to sense something else, something more dangerous than simple absence. Earth's disappearance wasn't just a fluke, it was deliberate. And the more he thought about it, the more he realized that it wasn't just Earth that was in danger. The entire galaxy might be on the brink of something much larger, something that would change the balance of power forever. Back on Earth, the silence continued. The government had gone into lockdown. No one was allowed to speak to the press, and no one was allowed to make contact with the outside world. The message from the mysterious sender echoed in their minds. "Stay silent. For now." Human leaders weren't used to staying silent. They had fought wars, built alliances, and worked tirelessly to maintain their position in the galactic order. But now, they had to wait. They had to trust that their decision to disappear from the galactic stage would protect them. As the days passed, the tension grew. Earth's leaders began to wonder if they had made the right choice. Was it truly the right time to pull away from the Galactic Council? What would the rest of the galaxy think when they realized Earth wasn't coming back to the table? Meanwhile, across the galaxy, whispers started to spread. Some believed Earth's silence was a sign of a new power rising, while others thought it was a sign of weakness. Some thought the humans had finally given up. But the truth was far more complicated. and far more dangerous. Valak, who had spent years observing the humans, was not one to jump to conclusions. He suspected that something was happening, something that the Council had overlooked for years. Could Earth be hiding something from the rest of the galaxy? Could they be preparing for something that no one was ready for? As the Council grew more anxious, the first signs of Earth's true intentions began to emerge, but they came slowly, in the form of strange, unexplainable occurrences. Ships from distant systems reported strange interference in their communication systems, messages that were corrupted or mysteriously delayed. Some even reported that they could see strange, shadowy figures lurking in the depths of space, figures that seemed to move with purpose but remained just out of reach. It was clear now. Earth's silence wasn't just an absence, it was a warning. And as the Council scrambled to make sense of the events unfolding, one thing became certain. The galaxy was on the edge of something big, something dangerous, and Earth was at the center of it. What would the future hold? Would the silence from Earth remain, or would the truth be revealed? No one knew, but one thing was certain. The galaxy would never be the same again. The story had only just begun, and the questions were piling up. The Galactic Council, the humans, and the entire galaxy were heading toward a crisis of unimaginable proportions. And at the heart of it all, Earth's mysterious silence held the key. The silence from Earth continued to weigh heavily on the Galactic Council. They had been waiting for answers, hoping for a sign that Earth was still part of the galactic fold, but none came. In the absence of any explanation, fear began to spread through the Council. What had caused Earth to withdraw so suddenly? What was hiding behind their silence? Far from the watchful eyes of the galaxy, deep in a hidden bunker beneath Earth's surface, a group of high-ranking human officials gathered, grappling with questions far bigger than they were prepared for. They had been called together not by government orders, but by an ancient alliance, an alliance formed long before the Galactic Council ever existed. The truth was buried deep within the secrets of this old pact, a truth that only a few knew, and an even smaller group of humans were entrusted to protect. At the center of this secret meeting was an elderly man, his face lined with years of worry and secrets. He was General Lucas Quinn, a leader from Earth's past, one of the few still alive who remembered the Alliance's origins. His eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned the room filled with men and women who had once fought on the front lines to protect humanity's interests. "Do we trust them?" asked a woman sitting at the table. Her name was Commander Rachel Farrow, and she had served alongside Quinn for decades. "We've kept our distance for so long, but now it feels like they might be reaching for something more." Quinn didn't respond immediately. Instead, he stared at the map laid out before him, showing strategic points across the galaxy. His finger hovered over the markings as though trying to remember the right moment to speak. "The Galactic Council," he began, his voice grave, "has always underestimated the importance of this old alliance. They think we are just another species in the galaxy, insignificant and easy to control. But they are wrong." The room grew still as Quinn's words sank in. The others knew what he meant. Earth's true power was not in its military might or its alliances within the Council. It lay in a much older, far more dangerous agreement made with forces beyond the Council's comprehension. The old alliance was forged during the early days of humanity's exploration beyond their solar system. It wasn't with any known species in the galaxy, but rather with an ancient, mysterious race that had lived for millennia. This race, known only as the Archon, had visited Earth centuries ago, long before humanity's first contact with other civilizations. They had given Earth the gift of knowledge and technology that had far surpassed anything humans had ever seen. In exchange, Earth had promised to keep the secrets of the Archon, to protect their legacy from prying eyes. But as time went on, the memory of the Archon faded, and their technologies were woven into humanity's progress. The Galactic Council had no idea that Earth possessed knowledge so advanced that it could change the very fabric of the galaxy. "What do we do now?" Commander Farrow asked, her voice tense. "Do we reveal everything? Or do we stay hidden, just as we were told? Quinn shook his head slowly. We can't reveal everything. If we do, the Council will come for us. They'll want to control the technology, exploit it for their own benefit. And if we're not careful, they will destroy us. There was a long pause before another voice spoke, a young officer named Lieutenant David Shaw. But what if the Council already knows? What if they'd been watching us all along? Pharaoh's expression hardened. Then they're waiting for the right moment to strike. Quinn looked up from the map, meeting the eyes of every person in the room. The truth is, we don't know what the Galactic Council knows. But we've been preparing for this day for a long time. Our silence is not just a response to the Council's demands. It is a safeguard. He paused, taking a deep breath. We are not the only ones who hold secrets. The Archon left more than just technology. They left a warning that the galaxy was not ready for their true power. If the Council ever finds out what we've hidden, they will come for us. And if they can't have it, they'll destroy us. As the words hung in the air, the reality of their situation set in. Earth was not just fighting for its survival, it was safeguarding a treasure that could change everything. The Council's ignorance had kept them safe for years, but now that silence was being broken, and the truth was on the verge of being exposed. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Council was starting to sense something more. As their representatives met and discussed the ongoing absence of Earth, whispers began to circulate. Some spoke of an ancient alliance, of secret technologies that no one had seen for centuries. Others speculated that Earth had finally gone rogue, preparing to break away from the Council's influence. But even within the Council, there were those who suspected that Earth's silence was not a sign of weakness, but of something far more dangerous. Some of the more ambitious members of the Council began to wonder if they could force Earth to reveal its secrets. If Earth was hiding something so powerful, then it was only a matter of time before the galaxy would be turned upside down. Back on Earth, the clock was ticking. The decision had been made to keep the truth hidden, but how long could they remain silent? How long could they stay hidden from the ever-watchful eyes of the Council? The pressure was mounting, and Quinn and his team knew that time was running out. They had to act quickly. The galaxy's fate was on the edge, and Earth's mysterious silence was the key. The decisions made in this room would shape the future, but the question remained, would humanity be able to protect the secrets of the old alliance, or would the galaxy be forever changed? The secrets of the past were about to collide with the future, and the consequences would be far-reaching. One thing was certain. Earth was no longer just a bystander in the galactic struggle. It had become a player in a game far larger than anyone could have imagined. And the world would never be the same again. The Galactic Council was not a body easily deceived. For millennia, it had maintained its power and control over countless civilizations scattered across the stars. But in all those years, never had a world like Earth remained so elusive. Despite their best efforts, despite sending spies and sending demands, they couldn't penetrate the secrets that Earth so jealously guarded. The galaxy buzzed with rumors that Earth possessed something that the Council could not understand or control. As whispers grew louder, the Council began to take serious notice. Some members grew nervous, while others grew eager. The more distant and silent Earth became, the more the Council feared what lay hidden beneath that silence. No one knew for certain what Earth was hiding, but the growing unease was palpable. At the heart of the Council's strategy sat Velith, an ambitious representative from the Athelian system. Velith was known for his calculated nature and his insatiable hunger for power. Unlike many of the other representatives, he saw Earth's silence as an opportunity, not a threat. What if they aren't just hiding from us? He mused in a private meeting with his closest allies. What if they are preparing for something? Something that could challenge the very foundation of our control. One of his allies, a shadowy figure named Zira from the Valuor colony, nodded. Their advancements in technology. It's unlike anything we've seen. They've been quietly accelerating their space programs for years. It's not just weapons. It's knowledge, Velith. Knowledge they're not sharing. Velith's eyes gleamed as he considered the possibilities. We need to find a way to break their silence. Earth is hiding something, and I will find out what it is. In the far reaches of the galaxy, near the edge of known space, Earth's ancient secrets stirred once more. The leaders of Earth's hidden alliance knew the time was coming when they could no longer remain concealed. The Galactic Council's growing suspicion wasn't just a matter of curiosity, it was a matter of survival. But even as Earth prepared, it faced a challenge it hadn't expected: the Council's increasing demands. As the Council sent one final, cryptic ultimatum to Earth, the representatives and military leaders of Earth knew they had no choice but to respond. But they also understood something that the Council didn't. It wasn't just about technology or power. It was about knowledge that could change everything. What Earth had learned over centuries, what they had kept hidden for so long, was about to come to light. On Earth, the message arrived. The transmission was short, simple, and full of quiet menace. Earth, your absence from the galactic table has not gone unnoticed. It is time to answer for your silence. Join us, or face the consequences. The words echoed across the world, sending shockwaves through the highest levels of government and military. This was no longer just a matter of diplomacy. It was a matter of survival. If Earth didn't respond in the right way, the consequences would be catastrophic. General Lucas Quinn stood before a large screen in his command room, staring at the ominous message. His mind raced with possibilities. The Council had underestimated Earth's strength before, but now they were forcing their hand. What would Earth do now? Would they stand firm and reveal their secrets? Or would they try to play the Council's game, hoping to avoid conflict? The answer, Quinn knew, was clear. Earth had a plan that had been set in motion long before the Council's ultimatum. But it wasn't something he could reveal just yet. The stakes were higher than ever before. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, the Council began preparing its response. Its most powerful fleet, led by Velith, was on its way to Earth. The Council wasn't just interested in Earth's silence anymore. They wanted answers, and they would stop at nothing to get them. Velith's fleet consisted of the best warships, the most advanced fleets in the galaxy, all under his command. But what he didn't realize was that Earth wasn't as vulnerable as it seemed. The secrets of the old alliance were more powerful than any ship the Council could send. Back on Earth, the preparations were underway. The old alliance, long dormant, began to stir. Hidden bunkers and forgotten bases were activated. It wasn't just the military that was preparing. It was the entire planet. Earth had never fully embraced the alien technologies given to them so long ago, but they had always known they were there, waiting for the right moment to be used. And now that moment had come. General Quinn gathered his team for a final briefing. The tension in the room was thick, the weight of what was to come heavy on their shoulders. "The Council believes we are weak," Quinn said, his voice steady. "They believe they can push us around. But what they don't know is that Earth has been preparing for this day for centuries." Quinn paused, his eyes sweeping over the gathered officers. "We are not alone. The secrets of the old alliance will guide us, but we must act swiftly. The Council cannot be allowed to discover what we have hidden. If they do, they will destroy us and everything we've worked to protect." The room was silent for a moment. Then one of the officers, a young lieutenant named David Shaw, spoke up. "General, do you think the Council is ready for what we have? They won't just walk away if we challenge them." "No," Quinn replied, "but we will fight, and we will make them realize that Earth is not a planet to be ignored. They may have underestimated us before, but they won't make that mistake again." The countdown had begun. The Council's ships were closing in on Earth, their weapons ready. But so was Earth. Humanity's greatest fight had just begun, and the secrets of the old alliance were about to change everything. The stakes had never been higher. Could Earth survive this galactic showdown, or would the Council's reach prove to be too great? The galaxy would soon know the truth. The Council's fleet was about to come face to face with something far greater than they had ever anticipated. And Earth's silence. It was no longer a sign of weakness. It was a warning. The time had come. The Galactic Council's fleet loomed large in the distant void, a dark presence against the backdrop of stars. Ships of unimaginable size and power, equipped with the latest technology and weapons, sped toward Earth's orbit. Velith, at the helm of the fleet, stood in his command center, staring at the readouts on the massive screens. He was determined, confident. He believed Earth was a mere obstacle to the mighty Council, a world that could easily be brought into submission. Prepare to enter Earth's atmosphere, Velith ordered coldly, his fingers tapping the controls. We will show them the consequences of their silence. As the fleet advanced, however, what Velith and his allies failed to realize was that their enemy wasn't simply a defenseless world. Earth had been preparing for this day for generations, and its silence had been the calm before the storm. Underneath the surface, deep in hidden bunkers and underground command centers, Earth's greatest asset was slowly coming to life. The dormant force that had been waiting for this exact moment to awaken. General Lucas Quinn stood at the edge of his command center, looking over the multitude of holographic displays. Earth's military was prepared. The Old Alliance, a secret collection of advanced technology and knowledge from races long thought extinct or forgotten, was now within their grasp. But even he felt the weight of what was to come. Earth wasn't just fighting for survival, it was fighting for its future, and the future of the galaxy itself. Their fleet is closing in, Quinn said, his voice steady but filled with resolve. We're ready. The technology we've recovered, the knowledge we've kept hidden. It's all for this moment. Quinn turned to the team of scientists and engineers who had worked tirelessly for years, deciphering alien technologies and repurposing them for Earth's use. Activate the power grid, he ordered. Engage the planetary defense systems. A series of massive underground structures, previously thought to be ancient ruins, began to hum with life. Secret space stations, hidden in the asteroid belts, and moon bases came online. A previously unknown network of communication satellites flickered into action, aligning with Earth's most secure military systems. The Old Alliance's most powerful weapon, the Hyperion cannon, was now operational. It was a massive, energy-based weapon capable of targeting ships light years away with pinpoint accuracy. Built from the remnants of ancient alien civilizations, it had been kept hidden, its existence known only to a select few. It was humanity's secret weapon, and it was now Earth's last hope. As the Galactic Council's fleet drew closer, their ships cutting through space like a dark storm on the horizon, General Quinn addressed his officers once more. We may be outnumbered, but we are not outmatched. The Council thinks they can crush us with their might. They have no idea what we've been preparing. He looked at the large map of Earth's defenses, seeing how every piece of technology was now cinched and ready. We fight for our future, for our planet, and for everything we've built. Now is the time. Let them see just how wrong they were. Velith's fleet entered the outskirts of Earth's orbit, prepared to make their descent. They were bracing for a swift and easy victory. After all, Earth had never been seen as anything more than a small, primitive world in the vast galaxy. But as they began to enter the planet's airspace, the first signs of something unusual appeared. Without warning, the skies above Earth erupted into a storm of energy. It was as if the very air itself had come alive with electricity. Velith's ships faltered for a moment, their sensors going haywire. They had expected the planet to have no significant defenses, certainly not this kind of overwhelming force. Something was wrong, and it was clear that Earth wasn't the weak target they had assumed. Report. Velith barked, his calm demeanor cracking for the first time. We're being jammed, sir, one of his officers said. All of our communications are being interfered with. The fleet is losing control over the defense systems. This isn't possible. The fleet slowed, and Velith's eyes narrowed. He had never encountered anything like this before. The last thing he expected was for Earth to possess technology that could threaten his mighty fleet. "We're under attack," another officer cried out. The massive ships of the Council were suddenly surrounded by powerful energy beams that pulsed with intensity, tearing through their shields and causing damage. On Earth, the battle was just beginning. The Hyperion cannon, a weapon thought to be nothing more than myth, fired its first deadly shot. A burst of energy shot out, striking one of the lead ships in Velith's fleet. It wasn't a perfect hit, but it was enough to send the ship spiraling out of control, its systems failing as it plunged toward the surface of Earth. Velith's mind raced. He had underestimated the humans. He had assumed they were primitive, incapable of defending themselves against the might of the Galactic Council. But now he was faced with something far worse. A hidden force, a power he couldn't comprehend. "Deploy the fleet," Velith ordered, trying to regain his composure. "We'll wipe them out with sheer numbers." But as more ships descended upon the planet, they found themselves caught in the crossfire. Earth's defenses were stronger than they had anticipated, and the Hyperion cannon was only one part of the equation. Earth's military forces, armed with advanced alien technology, launched counterattacks from every corner of the planet. Massive drones, equipped with advanced energy weapons, darted through the skies, launching coordinated strikes against the invading ships. On the ground, Earth's soldiers prepared for the coming battle. The old Alliance's weaponry, now in human hands, was being used with deadly efficiency. Advanced armor, energy shields, and weapons that had been alien to Earth's technology were now being wielded by human hands, and they were more than capable of facing down the incoming invasion. Velith watched as his fleet was slowly, but surely, forced to retreat. The human forces had proven far more resilient than he could have ever imagined. The shock of the attack, the sight of Earth's ancient weapons, had thrown the Council into chaos. The fight for Earth's survival was far from over. But as Velith's fleet faltered and Earth's defenses held strong, one thing was certain. The Council had made a grave mistake underestimating humanity. And now, the battle was about to escalate in ways the Council could never have prepared for. The skies above Earth were filled with the terrifying hum of battle. The massive ships of the Galactic Council continued their descent, their engines roaring as they launched attacks on the planet below. But they were no longer the hunters. They were the hunted. Earth's hidden weapons had unleashed a storm of retaliation. Every inch of Earth's surface seemed alive with energy, as if the planet itself had woken up to defend itself. General Lucas Quinn stood at the heart of Earth's central command, watching the chaos unfold on the massive screens before him. His face was stern, but his eyes burned with determination. The battle was only just beginning, but already humanity had delivered a blow that would forever change the course of the war. He knew this moment could be Earth's last stand, or its greatest victory. "We've damaged their fleet, but we haven't broken them yet," Quinn said as he turned to his officers. "The Galactic Council won't surrender easily. We need to keep pushing forward." His words were calm but urgent. Earth had just struck the first decisive blow, but they had to be relentless. The enemy had underestimated them, but that would no longer be the case. "Activate the secondary defense systems," Quinn ordered, his voice ringing out with command. "We're not just defending ourselves. We're showing the galaxy that we will not bow to anyone." Below them, the city was buzzing with activity. The planet's underground defense networks were fully engaged. Cities that once appeared peaceful and serene were now fortified with heavy defenses, ready to launch counterattacks on any invader. The military's drones, powered by Earth's newly acquired technology, swarmed the skies, launching a barrage of energy pulses at the incoming galactic ships. The ships were powerful, yes, but Earth had begun to turn the tables with its advanced alien technologies. Inside Earth's massive underground base, the soldiers and engineers worked furiously, readying more weapons, activating systems that had lain dormant for centuries. They were all determined, united in the knowledge that the survival of their world depended on their resolve. Elsewhere in the command center, Lieutenant Maria Serrano stood in front of a map, her fingers tracing the various attack routes of the Galactic fleet. The Galactic Council had sent thousands of ships to Earth's doorstep, each one bristling with weapons, but their pride was about to cost them dearly. "Their formations are falling apart," Serrano said. "They're not used to being hit back this hard. The longer we keep them engaged, the more their coordination will break down." She glanced over at the screens, watching as more enemy ships were disabled by Earth's retaliatory strikes. The Galactic fleet had been caught off guard, and now they were struggling to regain control. Humanity's secret weapon, a Hyperion cannon, had turned the tide. Each shot sent shockwaves through the enemy lines, tearing through their shields and hulls with terrifying precision. On the front lines, the human fighters in the skies launched a new wave of attacks. They piloted advanced ships, products of Earth's hidden alliance with long-forgotten alien species. These fighters weren't just human-made. They were a fusion of Earth's ingenuity and the technologies of the ancient allies who had helped humanity evolve. "Target their weak points," screamed Captain Ethan Harris over the comms as he engaged the enemy ships in a high-speed dogfight. His fighter weaved through a hail of enemy fire, returning it with deadly accuracy. Earth's military pilots had been trained on the best technology, and now they were using it to its fullest potential. Each fighter that exploded in a burst of light was another victory, but there was no time to celebrate. The real fight was happening in space, where Earth's defenses were being tested to their limits. The Galactic Council had underestimated Earth's resilience, and now they were paying the price. The real question remained: would humanity be able to sustain this fight? As the enemy fleet began to fall back, Velith seethed in his command center. The initial surprise had worn off, and now his ships were being torn apart, one by one. The Hyperion cannon had proven more deadly than anyone could have anticipated. His officers scrambled to fix the damage, but it was clear that they were losing control of the situation. "This cannot be happening," Velith muttered, his fist slamming onto the table. "We cannot lose to this insignificant planet." He turned to his officers, his eyes narrowing. "Reinforcements are on their way. We need to hold them off until they arrive. Prepare to deploy our final strike." The Galactic fleet was regrouping. They had taken heavy losses, but Velith wasn't ready to give up. He sent orders for his remaining ships to converge and prepare for a final attack. He knew that Earth's defenders were formidable, but with reinforcements, he believed they could crush the humans once and for all. Meanwhile, on Earth, Quinn could feel the shift in momentum. The Council was regrouping, but so were they. Humanity had tasted victory, and it fueled their resolve. Quinn and his officers continued to monitor the battle, making calculated decisions to keep the pressure on the enemy. "There's no turning back now," Quinn said with unwavering conviction. "We've taken the first step toward victory. Now we press on. We must show the Galactic Council that Earth will never bow." The battle raged on, with no clear winner yet, but Earth had taken its first decisive step toward pushing back the invaders, and humanity was no longer the underdog. The stakes had been raised, and every moment mattered. Would humanity hold strong, or would the Galactic Council's might overwhelm them? For now, Earth's fate rested on the shoulders of its defenders, but their resolve was stronger than ever. They had shown the galaxy that Earth wasn't just a speck of dust among the stars. It was a force to be reckoned with. The true battle had just begun. The tension was palpable. Earth's forces were stretched thin. The Galactic Council, though battered and broken, had regrouped, and their reinforcements were now on their way. General Lucas Quinn stood in the heart of Earth's military command center, watching as the situation unfolded on the large holographic maps. His jaw clenched, his mind racing through possible strategies. But one thing was clear: humanity was on the verge of a final confrontation. "Prepare for their counterattack," Quinn said, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "We've bought ourselves some time, but they won't give up easily. We have to end this now." Lieutenant Maria Serrano, standing beside him, analyzed the incoming data. "The Council's reinforcements will arrive in approximately 12 hours. If we don't strike before then, we risk losing everything." Quinn nodded. The odds were stacked against them, but Earth had never been a place that gave up easily. In that moment, he knew it wasn't just the military that had to stand firm. It was every citizen, every human on Earth who had to hold their ground. This battle wasn't just about survival. It was about sending a message to the entire galaxy. On the front lines, Earth's soldiers prepared for the final push. The underground bunkers were filled with the hum of last-minute preparations. Every man and woman, whether military or civilian, had come together in the face of unimaginable odds. The old alliances forged in the shadows had given them the tools to fight back, but now they had to use them with precision. Earth's fighters, those skilled pilots who had already dealt heavy damage to the galactic ships, readied themselves for what would likely be their last flight. Their ships were fully equipped with Earth's most advanced weapons, but the Galactic Council's fleet was formidable, and this time they would not be caught by surprise. Captain Ethan Harris, commander of one of Earth's elite fighter squadrons, walked through the hangar, looking at his crew one last time before they launched into the final battle. His heart pounded in his chest, but his resolve was unwavering. "Remember, this is for Earth, for our families, for our future," he said, his voice filled with determination. The pilots nodded, their faces grim but resolute. They had fought together before, but this would be different. The stakes had never been higher. As the countdown to launch began, Quinn's mind drifted to Earth's past, from the early days of exploration to the first steps onto the moon. Humanity had always faced overwhelming odds. It had always been the spirit of determination, the will to survive, that had pushed them forward. This time was no different. The space around Earth was filled with ships, both human and alien. Earth's fleet, once outmatched and outgunned, now stood proudly beside their allies. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity's will to fight back, and now they would learn the price of that mistake. But Quinn knew that the true battle would not be won in space. It would be won on the ground, in the hearts and minds of the people. He turned to his communications officer. "Activate the global broadcast," Quinn ordered. Within moments, Earth's voice echoed across the world. Every screen in every home, every device, every communication system was filled with a message from their leaders. "This is General Lucas Quinn. The Galactic Council has declared war on our planet, but we will not bow. We will not surrender. We are the human race, and we have faced down far worse than this. This fight is not just for us. It's for our children, our future. Today, we stand as one." Across the globe, people paused. Whether they were in the streets, in their homes, or in the fields, they stopped, and they listened, and they understood. This wasn't just a fight for survival. It was a fight for everything they had built, for the Earth that they had nurtured, and for the future they dreamed of. The final preparations were made. The ships launched into the sky, disappearing into the stars. Every fighter, every ship, every weapon that Earth had fought so hard to acquire was now in the hands of its defenders. The battle between Earth and the Galactic Council had reached its crescendo. The two forces met in the vastness of space, clashing in a blaze of fire and fury. Earth's fleet, though small in comparison, fought with everything they had. The fighters dodged and weaved through enemy fire, their weapons dealing blow after blow to the galactic ships. But the Council wasn't going to give up so easily. Their reinforcements arrived just as Earth's fighters engaged in full combat. The odds had shifted once again, and Earth's forces were being pushed back. Back at Earth's command center, Quinn watched with growing concern. The galactic fleet was huge, and even with their advanced weapons, Earth was still at a disadvantage. The Hyperion cannon, Earth's most powerful weapon, had been a game-changer in the earlier battles, but now it seemed to be losing its effectiveness. The galactic fleet was adapting, and Earth's forces were beginning to tire. Quinn took a deep breath and turned to Serrano. "We can't lose this. We need a breakthrough." "General, "There's one option left," Sereno said, her voice calm despite the chaos around them. "We can use the last of our experimental technology, the Omega Bomb." The Omega Bomb was Earth's most powerful weapon, a device capable of wiping out entire fleets in one strike. But it was also incredibly risky. Its power could easily destroy more than just the enemy fleet. It could take out entire sections of Earth's orbit. The consequences were unpredictable. "We don't have a choice," Quinn said, his voice firm. "Prepare it for launch." As the Omega Bomb powered up, Quinn knew this was their final chance. The fate of humanity rested on this one weapon, this one desperate gamble. If it worked, the Galactic Council would be shattered. If it failed, humanity would be no more. In the final moments of the battle, Earth's last hope was ignited. The bomb launched into space, heading straight for the heart of the Galactic fleet. Everything would depend on whether it reached its target. Time seemed to slow. Would Earth's final stand be enough to defeat the invaders, or would the Galactic Council's might be too great? The answer was moments away. The Omega Bomb soared through space, a deadly streak of light, heading directly towards the heart of the Galactic Council's fleet. Time seemed to stand still for General Lucas Quinn as he watched the live feed, his breath shallow. His team, his allies, and the millions of people across Earth were depending on this one final strike. It was now or never. "Get ready," Quinn said to Lieutenant Maria Serrano, who stood beside him. Her hands were steady, but her eyes betrayed the weight of the situation. If the Omega Bomb failed, they would all be wiped out in a matter of minutes. The entire fleet would be gone. The battle had reached its peak. Earth's remaining ships fought valiantly, but the Council's forces were still overwhelming. Each blow sent shockwaves through the fighters and ships, but humanity had never known how to give up. It was in their blood, their very spirit. They had learned from their history, resilience, unity, and the ability to face impossible odds and still stand strong. In space, the Omega Bomb approached its target. As it neared the heart of the enemy fleet, Quinn saw the Galactic Council's warships attempt to regroup, retreat, and form a defensive line. But it was too late. The Omega Bomb was upon them, a force that could destroy them all. The explosion was unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. A blinding flash filled the screen, followed by a wave of destructive energy that ripped through the Council's ships like paper. The shockwave was so powerful that it sent ripples across the battlefield, and for a moment, Quinn thought everything might be over. The explosion had been so intense, he couldn't make out what was happening on the other side of the blast. The massive debris field where the Council's fleet once stood was now a smoldering wreck. "Did it work?" Maria asked, her voice barely above a whisper. There was silence for a moment. Then, the battle communications system buzzed to life, and the voice of Captain Ethan Harris crackled through the speaker. "This is Captain Harris. The Omega Bomb did it. The Galactic Fleet. It's gone. We did it." The room erupted in cheers. A wave of relief and disbelief washed over General Quinn. He slumped back in his chair, his heart pounding in his chest. They had done it. Earth had won. But the victory felt bittersweet. Even as the galaxy's greatest threat was extinguished, Quinn couldn't shake the thought of the cost. The Omega Bomb had been their last resort, a weapon of unimaginable power. And while they had defeated the Galactic Council, they had destroyed part of the very system they had worked so hard to protect. "General Quinn," Maria said, bringing him out of his thoughts. "We've done it. But what happens now? What does the galaxy look like after this?" Quinn looked at her, his face grim. "We've secured Earth's future, Maria. But this victory comes at a price. The Galactic Council may be gone, but there are others out there. More threats we haven't yet encountered. We may have won this battle, but the war for the future of humanity is just beginning." He knew she was right. The destruction of the Galactic Council might have ended one chapter, but the story was far from over. There were more galaxies, more star systems, more unknown dangers lying in wait. But one thing had been made clear to Quinn and the rest of humanity. Earth would never be an easy target again. The universe had learned a harsh lesson. As the dust settled and the survivors regrouped, humanity began the hard work of rebuilding. Earth's defenses were stronger than ever, and the alliances forged in the fires of war would carry them into the future. The battle had shown them what they were capable of, and the galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. "Prepare for what comes next," Quinn muttered, looking out at the stars through the command center window. Humanity's fight has only just begun. And with that, the story of Earth's greatest trial came to an end, but the legacy of their strength, resilience, and unity would live on. The galaxy would remember the day humanity stood up against all odds and became the force that no empire could ever underestimate again. As the survivors of the final battle looked up at the stars, they knew that while Earth had won this war, the future would be theirs to shape, and humanity, with its unmatched determination, would face whatever came next, together.